Item number 3, approval of minutes, public hearing of May 22nd, 2024, and the regular meeting of July 10th, 2024, and the special meeting of August 1st, 2024, excuse me. Does anyone wish to make a motion for the approval of the minutes?
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of the meeting for May 22nd, July 10th, and special meeting August 1st of 2024. Did I say accept or approve?
Except I would appreciate if you'd change the.
Approve. Make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting.
Do we have a second? Mr. Miko made the motion. Do you have a second?
Second.
Mr. Pace, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Gene, thank you. Number 4, communications, the budget worksheet. Bill, you want to talk to that, about that?
We got the July final, but we're still waiting for the year ending one. We have preliminaries. Right now, we should have the finals by next month.
Any discussion by the commissioners? No discussion, we'll move on to intra-departmental transfers. Again, Bill?
Yeah, we're switching over some, money from, different account to cover the losses on, part-time payroll, overtime payroll, regular payroll. It's, so the overtime and the part-time is coming out of, regular payroll. That's 43,000 to cover that. Then the chemicals and the municipality water coming out of equipment maintenance for 9,400. And then the sludge dumper is 28,000 coming out of the grit removal. So we just have to switch those transfers.
Any questions by the commission? Hearing none, we need a motion to approve these transfers.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Well, I have one quick question.
Yes,
The last 2 items on the list,
Those are increased.
but there's no transfer form.
I don't know if she has to do it. I don't know why there's no
Oh,
transfer on it. So I just left it for now.
Okay,
I'll let you know if there is.
okay.
I'll move to, accept this motion.
we have motion by
Approve this
Mr.
motion.
Lucilio. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Miko. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the transfer of intra-departmental transfers, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Eugene, opposed. Thank you.
No, I said aye to move forward, not to oppose.
Say that again?
I said aye to the motion to move forward with it. I didn't oppose it. Sorry,
Okay,
there might be a
check.
lag on the call.
Thank you.
Yep.
Item 4C, the nitrogen credit should be in your packet. You want to address that, Bill?
Those are nitrogens that they have credits, well, not credits, but we have to buy the nitrogen back from the state of Connecticut. Because we don't produce enough, so the whole total number is 105,099.5. That's demanded by the state.
What was your deficit last year, Bill?
I don't know which one it was last year. We didn't have one last year.
So this is, an aberration, or is this?
This was
Brand
this
new?
was sent to us on, like in May. I'm not even sure if,
Did you ever have credits before?
not when I've been here, no. I can't answer that. No.
Can we find that out?
They're all in I think we've had credits, but I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Yes, we have had credit.
But we have a history of the credits and deficits of this, because at some point, the cost of these nitrogen deficits, these aren't credits, these you're paying.
Right.
If they become substantial enough that you require capital investment in order to mitigate this, you really have to consider that. Okay, so you could just email me that, or the commission,
Mhm.
what the last 10-year experience has been with the nitrogen credits.
10-year
History.
experience with the nitrogen credits. Okay, we'll get that out to the commission, Mr. Marsilio. Any other discussion on that, on the nitrogen credit? If not, we need a motion to pay for the nitrogen credit of $105,995.
I have a question. We're gonna have to make a transfer to cover that?
How's that paid for?
Out of the sinking fund.
Oh,
Okay, out of the sinking fund.
There was a line item on the chart, but we never, there's a dollar in it just to hold the spot, so. It's the first time they had it, so.
Okay. Any other further discussion? If not, we need a motion to make that transfer to pay the nitrogen credit.
I make a motion for payment of $105,995 for nitrogen credits.
Motion made by Mr. Marsilio, seconded by Mr. Chuckter. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Voting so ordered. Thank you.
Just a little note on that one. So this one here, if you looked on your sheet, your budget sheet, so there is a line item for it, which is
What is it?
8095. You can look, we don't have any money. This is like
Okay.
the first time they did it, so.
80,
95.
95, that's
there's no money in that line item?
yeah, the state of Connecticut nutrient reduction.
You just keep a dollar in there, you said.
Yeah, well, there's nothing in there.
What is it?
Well,
Keep it open.
I mean, for budgeting purposes, if you have had to pay this to the state every year over an extended period of time, you're gonna want to address that.
Right, yeah.
but if
They
I'm not
normally let you
mistaken,
know, like in the end of January,
Well, when do you do this budget?
July, June.
So,
We didn't know a lot until May, so. She had it down there.
I think in past history, we've actually received money back from the state of Connecticut. That's why
In
the
the-
dollar amount for that. line.
Years ago we did, yes.
let's just take a look at it.
Okay. Okay, going on to number 5, unfinished business, to review and discuss the WPCA actions and approvals as to affordable housing unit connections and waiver of fees. Mr. Ian, could you open that up for us?
So this is the one that we're talking about, that affordable housing on our application. And these guys and people have been taking it off, and there's no ruling or no law that says they can take it off. So that's what they're trying to rectify, that they can't take it off for affordable housing. I've had the engineers look it up, nobody can find it. It might have been in place, but it was never passed, maybe, I don't know. I can't answer on that one. That was drawn towards, Petromont, I think. Got it passed by the board.
That was a one done deal, though.
Yes, that was approved for, Petrol Lane.
Right.
So what is this? What are we saying here? Is this the adoption of a policy? Or is this, what is it? Is this a clarification?
I correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but what happened is because of what happened at Petromont Lane, which is not mandated or legal by the state, not that it's illegal, but it's not mandated by the state anywhere that we could find that there's a statute that says if you have so many units, you have to give the developer 5 affordable, 3 affordable, 10 affordable units. Mr. Bellis came in and said that of his own volition and made quite a statement about it because he addressed it as he is an attorney and he's the developer and he addressed it as the attorney as I listened to it. And he had written a document and proposed a 40-year agreement that we would have to sign with him. And being as it was done by an attorney in such a manner, I was one vote. I thought it was perfectly normal that would happen because I assumed that that's what the state did. That's not true. And so we're looking to stop that from going on any further and rescinding that motion. And that's my opinion. Bill, do you have any other?
No, it's right on.
So this is.
I can't find it.
This isn't retroactive,
Yes, it's retroactive to,
that project?
yes, that's what we're looking to do, right? I'm
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
That was the decision given by our city attorney that we could do that, so. That's. Okay, any more discussion or anything, any other questions or discussion about it? Hearing none, do we need a motion to make that, go into effect? And the motion is, we have it written out in legalized terms at the bottom of the page, if you'd like to do it.
I'll make a motion that we rescind. Make a motion that the WPCA immediately rescind any connection approvals for projects which included affordable housing units if the units were not charged usual and customary fees. And further move that the rescission of approval continue until fees are paid for those particular units.
Motion made by Mr. Miko. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Pace? Discussion? We've already had discussion somewhat. Any further discussion? Okay, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? None opposed? Vote unanimous. Thank you very much. Under 6, new business, bills rendered, Weston and Sampson for $5,884.45. We need a motion to pay that bill.
I make a motion to approve the payment of $5,884.45 for Weston and Sampson invoice number 11232626.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. And seeing a hand up, what is the discussion on that, Mr. Pace?
No, I see that this.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we need a vote. Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed?
I,
Vote, I'm sorry, Mr. Pace opposed.
no,
Oh, you did. Take that back, Mr. Pace approved. That's the Weston and Sampson. We no longer are using them as our consultant, but we wanted to get that straightened out. 6B, talking about the application of BCC-24-10, 6 Todd Road, which is the new McDonald's restaurant.
Good evening. Good evening, Attorney Dominic Thomas, Cohen and Thomas, 315 Main Street, Derby, Connecticut. Appearing before you, having filed my first opengov.com sewer application on your sewer application point. And So I know that the full set of plans have been delivered. They should be, I'm assuming they're on the table. And we
Yeah.
do have the developer here. This is a relatively, as you, hopefully you've looked at the plans, this is in 6 Todd Road, which is at the corner of Todd Road and Platt Road. And the property, for those of you not familiar with that, going back far, was Curtis Ryan back in the 60s, early 70s, and was actually several other uses therein. So there is an existing sewer main that is in Nels, excuse me, Platt Road. And there is actually an existing lateral that goes onto the site. Obviously, the proposal is to put a new lateral in. It's a relatively simple sewer connection to the site. I know there's, I don't know, you've changed. We were hoping, McDonald's is hoping, they have all their plans at the building department, and they were hoping to get moving because they wanted to complete the construction before winter sets in, before the plants close. So I don't know what your position is now that Weston and Sampson is here. You have, I think, Fuss and O'Neill. If there's a need to have it reviewed, we would hope it would be acted on immediately. If you look at it, again, the developers here, anybody's here to point out the plans. It's just a relatively simple line. You have an 8-inch line in the road and the proposed 6-inch PVC lateral, which is similar to other simple situations. But if you need to look at the plans, we can spread them out and show them.
That's it.
That's it.
This application, is here today to, be approved or accepted for review or whatever the board wishes to do, but, in quite a bit of conversation I've had with, Bill, Iannotti, he sees, he's the professional. He sees it's a very simple application. So we're not looking at extensive EDUs, et cetera. So, but at the same time, if we approve, approve rather, not accept, you have to be very careful there. If we accept, if we approve the application, it just opens up a can of worms for us. However, what Mr. Attorney Dominic Thomas just said, if we could review this quickly and possibly have a special meeting to approve, I have no problem with that because based on what our sewer administrator has told us. So I'm looking for, I want to be consistent because of what's happened in the last 6 months since I've been here. I want to be consistent with this so that we don't get other developers or other people that want to build upset. So my opinion is I'm looking for a motion to accept the application for review. And based on that, I would certainly push Fuss and O'Neill through Bill to review it quickly. And if the board, we can get the board together for a special quick meeting, that would be no problem for me, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you for that consideration.
So the review is to review prospective flows.
Yes,
Well,
but Bill, Bill, you want to respond to that?
Yeah,
on your point on that, one of the interesting things, because it relates to your prior conversation. Obviously, as a result of what went on over the last few weeks in the court and everything like that,
Is it a court case?
I had the experience of going through myself the opengov.com application. And what comes out your end is not the same with what the person putting it in sees on the screen. Okay, so understand that it's when you right click and print out what's on the screen, it looks different. What comes out the other end is the application type thing. But you don't see this on the screen until you're done. And one of the interesting things, because I was convinced that I would have to stop and call somebody, and this occurs in I assume all applications. I know it occurs in apartments, but it certainly occurs in restaurants. When you reach the point in the application where you're identifying it as a restaurant, class 3, 4 restaurant, it asks you for the square footage. The minute you type in the square footage, the rest of the application auto computes everything. So it automatically computes all the way down. As the result of what happened in the litigation, I went back and mathematically computed the numbers, the EDUs and everything like that to make sure they match the formulas that are on the plan. And they did, because there was an error, that other one had an error situation, but not going there. But this was a restaurant. So the minute I typed in 3690 for the square footage, the rest of it prints out. The EDUs, the gallonage or anything like that. So the applicant fills in, nothing at that point, once you fill in the use, at least for the restaurant, I can tell you that. So, and the other thing that is very interesting related to what you prior said is that when you're looking at the screen, at least the current application that I filled in, there is nowhere when you're doing apartments to put in affordable units. So you can't click, in other words, there's no click on there. So that, I just wanted to point that out to you, but obviously affordable isn't related to restaurants, but that's how it fills in. It's automatic the minute you do it.
Go ahead.
So you're asking to accept the application, we're gonna submit this to our consultant, they're gonna review the flows, and then there's gonna be another vote?
Well, there'll be a different vote because this one is to accept the application from the applicant
Yeah,
for
then they
review. Then the next meeting, I'll be looking for an approval.
Right.
Okay.
That's all it-
I mean, my only comment was the fact of review the flows. I just wanted you to understand the flows aren't put in by the applicant. The flows are put in automatically by whatever computer program, whatever algorithm is in the system. So it isn't like the applicant in the, I do recall, I mean, you have Manny Silva sitting here. I recall reviewing Manny's applications and past applications where I would get a WPCA application where Manny wrote into the application handwritten what the flows were. He got them off some engineering thing. In this case, that isn't the case. It isn't reviewing the flows. The flows are in your own algorithm.
But Mr. Thomas, the engineer reviews other aspects.
Right,
of it.
exactly, yes.
That's the reason why they have
Plans, right.
to go through the engineer first before we can approve.
And I have no issue with that, and I appreciate trying to accelerate it, but I just wanted, with the reference to flows, I wanted you to understand, it isn't the same as the old days when,
So what you're saying is that the flow that's documented in the application may not be congruent to the actual flows because there's an array of different.
no, what I'm saying is, you've established, you meaning the WPCA, whoever put this program in, you've already established what the flows are based on the use. Obviously, what the engineer needs to look at is the plans to make sure, there's a plan that shows the sewer line coming in, the sewer line going through, I guess that's the grease trap, the little rectangular, this is what lawyers talk about, little rectangular thing with circles in it. You know what I mean? He's gonna review that, and that we understand needs to be reviewed. The numbers that are in the application, on the bottom of the application, those are no longer done by the applicant. Those are done by your algorithm that you have.
So you just number.
Oh, no. We have to live with the number that it prints out. That's it.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, we need a motion to accept for review the application for McDonald's at 6 Todd Road, BCC -24-10.
Make a motion to accept the application
Motion by Mr. Pace,
for review.
I second it for review.
seconded by Mr. Chuckner. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Vote unanimous, vote and so ordered. Thank you.
Thank you
very much. 6C, Who 81 Canal Street, W Cedar Village at the locks.
Good evening, Manny.
Good evening.
Just making sure, is this on? Yeah. Good evening, Manny Silva from Rose Tea Zone Company, 35 Brentwood Avenue, Fairfield, Connecticut. I'm the one that does all these applications you guys are talking about. So if anybody wants to review history, you can come talk to me. This application in front of you today is for an apartment building on 281 Canal Street. It's the old building that was there on the end of Canal Street just before the locks. In fact, this apartment building is going to be called the Locks, I believe. And what we have here is, here's the apartment building. It's this U-shaped building, and then there's going to be a parking deck inside inside the U-shape here, and then here in the back. We couldn't find any record of the existing lateral connection to this building, even though we know that this was hooked up to sewer. We couldn't find where it is out in the street, or if it went up to the neighboring property. So what we have now is a proposed new lateral that comes out to a new manhole. So what we're going to do is extend. What we do know is that there's a manhole here, and that's what's there today, right? And so we're going to do a sewer extension to this point here with a new manhole, and then come into the property with a 6-inch lateral. So the existing main in Canal Street is a 12-inch, and we're going to extend a 12-inch to in front of the property, and then have our new lateral, which is 6-inch lateral, come out to that manhole. The EDUs for this, the breakdown is 40 studio apartments, which comes out to about 5,600 gallons per day. The 1-bedroom apartment is 89 units at 18,690 gallons per day. That comes out to an equivalent EDU of 127.3, which is around $3,300 in connection fees. What we're asking is that you accept the application and have your engineer, I guess, review the plans so that we can get an approval in the next meeting. You show if you would like. Any questions?
I have one question.
Go ahead, Jim.
Bill, what is the policy for a main extension? What is the limit required? Pardon me, I don't know these answers, so I have to ask. I can remember in my history and extending utilities, we always be forced to go to the center line of the property. Is that conventional here, Sheldon?
Is it?
Past precedent.
So I would say that is probably the precedent throughout Shelton and some other towns. The only reason why number one, we couldn't find the existing lateral here. So obviously there's a lateral on this building. It's been here since, I don't know, early 1900s, right? Or something like that.
Maybe it
So-
goes directly into the river.
Might have went right
Maybe.
to the river.
Correct. No, I doubt that, but there was a canal underneath this building that goes out, but the reason why we stopped it here is because there's no possibility of another development going past this property. This is where the bridge for the locks are, and then on the other side is the actual canal. So there's no possibility of any future development going further than this manhole that we propose.
So you go past where the lateral is coming off of the main. You're not gonna angle the lateral into a manhole.
I mean, what we had was we were going to trough it in the manhole as a right turn in the trough, but we can definitely put a saddle. We can go past the lateral and put a saddle in after the manhole. We can do that. Because we are the last person on the line, I prefer going into the manhole with the trough, because then that acts as another clean out or another access to see what's going on with the lateral in the future or the main. But your engineer may disagree with me, so. Or the commission may disagree with me. That's fine. Either way is fine with me.
Yeah.
We're not gonna decide.
Right.
I was just curious as to the limit that is conventionally required.
Right. And just so the commission knows too, is that historically there was there was a tunnel that went under Canal Street here and through the building. So to extend it further, we may run into structure under there. That's another reason to kind of stop it short. But again, we feel that we can stop it here because there's no possibility of any future development down the way because it's water.
Are you building over the existing tunnel on the property?
So we're gonna remove, so that there's, right now, there's a tunnel that goes out. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna demo the existing building, dismantle the iron beams that are spanning the tunnel, and then fill it in with structural fill.
I assume you're gonna close off the tunnel that's supposedly going underneath the road.
If from right now, so I didn't have the courage to walk in there. But it looks like it's been filled in with rubble already. On the backside there, you can't see the tunnel. There's rubble on the backside of this tunnel towards Canal Street, so it may be filled in already.
Well, filled in with rubble is one thing, filled it in the opening with concrete is something a little bit different.
Right. It'd have to be investigated when we peel back the onion skin, as they say, you know? So because no one really wants to go in there right now, the building's really kind of falling apart. What I could tell you is that tunnel is iron beams spanned across, iron, not steel. And then
If it's similar to other operations we've seen in the past, they use the water power from the
Correct.
river to
Yeah.
power mechanical devices throughout the plant for assembly lines. And
so there's a big flywheel or a mill wheel underneath all these buildings.
And that's
Yeah.
what that was.
They're under all the buildings going along Canal Street. Yeah, but one by one, we've been taking those buildings down and redeveloping them. So this is one of the last ones.
Yeah. Any other questions? Hearing none, we need a motion to accept for review BCC 24 11 281 Canal Street, W West, I think that is, Cedar Village at the Locks. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to
Yeah.
accept application BCC 24-11 for 281 Canal Street West, Cedar Village at the Locks for review.
Thank you. That was made by Commissioner Marsilio,
Second for review.
seconded by Mr. Chuckda for review. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Negative, those nay. Vote so ordered. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. They haven't-
6D, BCC 24 12 301 Bridgeport Avenue.
Good evening. My name is Manny Silva again. My record is 7 in a row. This is only 2 today. 35 Brentwood Avenue, Fairfield, Connecticut, the civil engineer for the developer of 301 Bridgeport Avenue LLC. So this application's been in front of the commission once before. This one was denied without prejudice because of the application anomaly that was in the system probably 6 months ago, where the application allowed you to input affordable housing units, and then that went in as a zero charge, which was, I guess, based on not having an approval for that, was an error. So the commission rejected it without prejudice so we can reapply with the correct numbers. So what this one is going to be 14 units of efficiency apartments, which is about 1,660 gallons per day. Multifamily units or apartments, 1 bedroom or up, 25, which is 5,250 gallons per day, totaling about 7,210 GDP. That comes out to about 34 equivalent units, which will be a charge just below $90,000. It'd be 89,266. The actual construction and how we connect into the sewer is that Sunwood Avenue has an existing sewer main that goes out to Old Bridgeport Avenue, and we're just connecting in with a 6-inch PVC lateral and saddling into the existing line in Sunwood. Again, the commission has seen this before. It's just that the numbers, the application was wrong due to that due to those affordable housing units being added in.
Any
Was this the
questions?
former Huntington Village?
I'm sorry?
Was this the former Huntington Village application?
No, this is the one where, Bridgeport Avenue, where you go up to the Legion.
It's right
Got it, okay.
across from the old Hunan Pond,
What's
Got
the
it, got
question?
it.
the old Hunan Pond. Hunan Pond?
Oh, Hunan Pond, it's across from the old Hunan Pond.
Got it.
Might remember Loretta's Restaurant was there as well.
Yep.
Any questions?
I was-
Any comments? Before we, I'd like to make just a comment. Back in May, Ben Perry submitted these, plans to us, but it was at the end of the meeting. And I didn't bring it up before the board, so I made him wait, and they unfortunately made him wait another month to submit these. And then after we did that, we denied, but without prejudice, so I would sincerely hope that, we can get this thing passed, so they can get going for review and again, try to expedite the situation. Do we have a motion to, accept for review, BCC 24 12 301 Bridgeport Avenue, or, to be accepted for review by our consultant?
Thank you very much. Have a good, oh, I'm sorry, you haven't voted. Go ahead.
Make a motion
Motion moved by Mr. Chuckter,
that the application BCC 24 12 for 301 Bridgeport Avenue for review.
thank you. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Pace? Thank you, sir. Second. We've already had the discussion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed? Unanimous, thank you.
All right, thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. The last item on the agenda before adjournment is the financial statement. Do you have anything, Mr.?
It's right there, it's later.
I'm sorry,
It's right there on the paper.
just a handout, yeah, okay.
It's on the
Any,
handout.
any discussion on the handout? Did anybody get a chance to review it?
I request to restate my motion for interdepartment transfers.
Restate it?
Yes.
Good, Jim.
I would like to restate that motion for B. I make a motion to approve the following interdepartmental transfers. 43,000 from 10-1 regular payroll for 34,000 to 10-2 part-time payroll and 9,000 to 10-7 overtime pay. Next, 9,400 from 65-0 equipment maintenance to $5,000 to 40-27 chemicals and 4,400 to 35-5 municipal water. Next, 28,000 from 81-7 grit removal for $28,000 to 80-32 sludge dumping.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Masilio to amend the, 4B, intra-departmental transfers for the amount stated. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Mr. Pace seconded it. Does anybody have discussion on that? Anybody want to talk about it? If none, those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed?
Aye.
One opposed, A vote so ordered.
No, I wasn't opposing.
Said aye.
Oh, he said aye. I'm sorry. I keep thinking it's a negative, Eugene.
Yeah.
Forgive me on that.
You're good.
Okay, vote so ordered unanimously. Thank you very much. Thanks, John, for clarifying that. We have a motion to adjourn.
I got one question.
Yes, I'm
Are
sorry.
we still using Weston and Sampson
No, we're not.
as of?
As of, we're just paying them our last bill today. We've had discussions with others. And we'll, when we get settled down, I'll announce it to the board.
So who's reviewing these applications that were submitted?
Boston O'Neill, I think, though, with Virgil.
That's as of when?
Huh?
He's,
But when was the last day that Weston and Sampson did work for the city of Shelton?
July 8th.
I didn't know the date, I'm sorry, thank you.
How is the Boston O'Neill, selected?
It went out. It was on OpenGov.
And
There was two bidders.
We use Weston.
Who were the two bidders?
There are two bidders.
Who, you know who they were?
The two
Boston O'Neill was
bidders.
the first
Boston
one
O'Neill and some other company from Pakistan.
from Pakistan that submitted an application
In Arabic.
in Arabic, completely in Arabic. Our purchasing
I thought
department,
we.
our purchasing department couldn't make it out, and the telephone number,
Could have made this an international.
That's right.
so it was not really, nobody else bid on it.
And so this is for on-call services. And,
3-year contract.
okay, and is there a scope in the contract?
Yeah.
Other than review, is there also, are they on-call for?
Clean health, all that, yes, everything.
When did that go off?
June?
May or June, and they,
June,
did all the
tomorrow.
protocol you do on the internet, post it, and then they got the applications back in, reviewed them, and went with, we wasn't much of a choice, obviously.
No, I understand that, but I mean, who prepared the document?
Bill, who
Bill.
prepared the documents?
What?
It went out for bid.
For the on-call,
Bid, who did the bid for the consultant?
who prepared the documents for the on-call bid?
We used the same documents as last time.
Oh, okay, because
She already had them in the,
No, otherwise they call them.
that's fine, but the board, were we aware of that? I wasn't here in June, so I don't know, and I don't remember it being on.
No,
that was the one that had to go out because their contract was up.
I knew we were using, Boston O'Neill temporarily. I didn't realize we signed any contracts with them. Have we signed a contract with them? We'll need a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded by, made by Mr. Masulio and seconded by Mr. Chuckton. Thank you very much, gentlemen.